Ladies and gentlemen, another episode.
Yes.
Oh, this is crazy. It's going to be bananas. You better get to your phone lines, 855-878-4652. That's 855-878-4652. You're listening to the So What Morning Show on TradioV.com. That's Radio in TV. This is what we do. We try to push the envelope with our subject matter, if you want to call it that. I mean, or really, we're just trying to irritate you and make you think and make you laugh and probably try to change your life or ruin your life. We're trying to do something. I don't really know what it is yet, but
there is before us and after us.
Yes, if you want to participate, you got to get to the phone lines, and that's 855-878-4652. Really quickly, I got to move very fast. This is a special show because some things have gone down, and we got to inform our fan base about it. But before I get to that, let me just say, before I get to the book segment and all of that stuff, let me just say, rest in peace to James Hanna, Truth Pace.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. That's our guy. He calls into the show. He's a great comedian. We're going to honor him throughout the show. That's what we're going to do. So if you love James Hanna and you love the So What Morning Show and our team, please call us at 855-878-4652. Rest in peace, James Hanna. Peace to your heart, as Louis Dix would say. I mean, Louis Dix came to my mom's funeral. I invited the whole Foxhole crew.
Louis Dix is a repass whore. He's a repass whore.
He's a what?
A repass whore.
He loves macaroni and cheese and grains and stuff.
Wow.
Yes.
No, but Louis Dix is
a funeral crasher.
A funeral crasher.
No, Louis is a dude. Louis is my dude. Louis is my dude.
So, no, we want to just send mad love out to James's family, his children. I mean... This is a man's man right here, dude, and I really respect this guy.
Well,
Stand up, dude.
He supported all of us for every show.
Yeah, he'd call in and just talk shit. I couldn't hear what y'all said, but motherfuckers, and he'll just go in on a tangent.
I didn't actually get the whole topic, but if it's about white people or women, neither of them are shit.
And he'll just go in.
And here's why.
Here's an impromptu top 10 of why. Right?
Why he ain't shit.
I think he told me the last time we talked. He said, Zoe, I want you to name my segment The Biggest Monkey Who Throws the Most Shit. I said, well, damn, why? He said, because I'm trying to ruin everybody's belief about what they think is correct. I said, okay, James, we'll do that.
James was in this game, without question. James Hanna was my best friend. The hands down, I've been to...
And your eyes getting moist?
200. No, man, I done had them days. I done had that all last night, all this morning, crying like somebody stole my bike.
Moist eyelids?
Yeah. Oh no.
You got
I do
it
the
up?
ugly cry. I do the ugly cry.
Do the ugly cry right now.
I can't even...
You can mimic
I'm
it.
down on one knee. And then, I can't mimic the cry, but I can do the thing when I try to stop.
Where's the man?
That's
I try to stop myself.
I remember when Robin Harris passed.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow.
Man, it hit me so hard. All I kept thinking about was, dang, it won't be opening up for him.
That's it, yeah.
Damn, Louis.
That pisses you off. Yeah. You're like, well, I mean, anybody have to worry about with Hannah because they wouldn't open up for him. But
No.
Wow,
but,
Louis.
I mean, no, I love Hannah.
Too soon?
Too soon.
Okay,
But hey, that's the comic's life. I mean, Hannah's up there right now arguing with some black woman about the pearly gates. Yo, you ain't gonna let me in? So why you should sit
This ain't real Pearl anyway.
Yeah. Y'all ain't keeping it real. I can't wait to get out of here. But everyone that's come across Hannah, I mean, I first met him when we were working on the TV show. I think it was Steve Harvey's show. I was doing a warm-up, and he was a writer. Aggressive.
Irascible.
Aggressive, short.
Tell you the truth.
Had the same pigmentation, so that's the first connect with comics. Oh, you're my complexion, so good. Let's work. But you like some comics.
James Hanna liked to spray paint the truth on a wrecking ball and run it right through your glass house.
And then laugh out loud.
That was fun.
You can't say he wasn't lying. You can't say he wasn't truthful. He just had no tact.
Sad that he's dead.
Tell the truth in front of your grandma.
Say hi to Patrice O'Neal.
Yeah.
For real.
All
So
that
rest
love.
in peace, man. Rest in peace to James Hanna. Like I said, we're going to be, doing a tribute and honoring him throughout the show. Let me run through these book selections really quickly. It's very important that you guys support Dr. Mark Goulston, Real Influence. I keep trying to tell you guys, you need to read if you want to expand your consciousness. It's exceedingly important that you do that. one of our other guests just brought his book in, but this book is a long time coming. A lot of people have considered it to be a myth, as if it would never be written, produced, or anything. It was just an idea.
So it's like the detox of books.
No, it's the real thing.
No, it's in Dr. Dre Detox.
Look at this book here. The
Detox of books.
That's,
Was that too deep?
look at this here. Real Men Don't Play by Bobby Glanton-Smith. Now, he's been talking about this for the longest. It's actually, I have a physical copy of it.
Is there print in the pages, or is it all blank?
No, it's actual words.
Who's the picture?
That is good. That is
Who's
good.
the picture?
The picture is of the legendary Jim
I was
Brown.
about to say.
Bobby
Wow.
Glanton. Real Men Don't Play, man. He finally got it done. A collection of
him.
interviews of highly
Wow.
respected men whose accomplishments can be traced to their unwillingness to compromise their values, principles, commitment to their family and themselves. Bobby Glanton-Smith.
Great book.
Real Men Don't
It
Play.
must be good,
It's
'cause
out, man.
Look at that picture of Jim Brown.
Yeah,
You've been
Jim
writing
had to
this
sign
book
off.
since 1981.
Yeah,
Well, good- well,
Jim does
sometimes
have
good
on
work.
the golden child hat in that picture. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. He has Sam in here.
Yeah, man, it's a lot. Sam Watson.
Yeah,
he got
Sam is an unsung hero.
great book. I'm glad Bobby was able to bring it up. Another book, The 6 Secrets of a Lasting Relationship, How to Fall in Love Again and Stay There. Again, Dr. Goulston and another one of his white friends, Philip Goldberg. These white people know how to set the precedent for us to change our lives in meaningful ways. Is that not right, Doc?
You ever go skiing with one of them?
Yeah, well, they won't send books to Duck Dynasty, that's for sure.
Boom.
Whoa.
Jeff, Mark has another great book. Listen, he doesn't even have to be here.
No.
Jesus, he doesn't have to be here. Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder for Dummies. A reference guide by Dr. Mark Goulston. He even has the Dummies franchise behind him. Jesus, he doesn't have to be here. It's a waste of his time.
I shall help the Negroes with their program.
I will uplift their meager minds. Anyway, just listen, Dr. Mark Goulston. Is this your first book? This isn't your first book.
No, that's my best book.
This is the one that sold the most. Is that what you mean by best, or do you mean the content?
No, it's probably the content too.
Really?
Probably.
Well, the world doesn't.
You're talking about the money.
The world
All right,
doesn't listen. I'm going to write the sequel that you should be about you. Just listen to me.
Wow.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm sure you would do that, and we would listen. Dr. Whitey Locks. Again, here's a copy of my book, The Rebirth of Seeds. Very important that you go support. You can find it on my website, IamZoeWilliams.com. Very, very intense book if you want to learn anything about me. Another book I suggest, West. No, this is great. West by West, My Charmed, Tormented Life by Jerry West. This is a book I made my son read. I'm just trying to get him ready. I'm trying to get him ready for this life, for college and, everything that comes with it.
Trying to make him a slow point guard?
Hey, here's a heavy one. Here's a monster. All the sisters who are watching, yes, I'm trying to make them a point guard. All the sisters who watch this show and say, oh, they're anti-woman and they banging on the women. I love women.
Oh, boy.
I love women. I have a daughter who has a period now, so that makes her
Thank
a woman.
you so much for sharing that.
So
I am sure she's happy we know that.
yeah, she's.
Did you check with her before you said you were going to go on the radio and
I
let everybody
didn't,
know?
but fortunately, she doesn't listen to Dad
Okay, great.
at home or on the radio.
She's mortified.
So at the end of the day, this is a book that I gave to her. It's a historical encyclopedia all about black women in America. Right?
Yeah, I have that book.
You got this? Very good book. We got to educate our sisters. We got to educate our brothers. We got to educate everybody on what it means to be black in America. And then once we find out how they define us, we can then begin to redefine ourselves for ourselves.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Well, I just think a lot of that has to begin within ourselves. At home.
Absolutely.
I mean, it starts from the beginning of, as a man, seeing that child come out of the world.
Absolutely.
Once you make that commitment, I don't think you'll water down the rest. You got to see it, though. It has to be a part of you.
All right, that's good stuff. One other thing I want to promote before we get to our topic, pharaonicdesigns.com. I always support and promote, black-owned businesses, small businesses. It don't have to be black, it can be Asian-owned. Just as long as it ain't nails and weaves. It can be Asian-owned, whatever.
Pharaonic.
pharaonicdesigns.com. They They have, a line of T-shirts that say greatness on it and Egyptian symbology. Very cool, very slick stuff. Go to the website, check it out. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you. That's about it. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to introduce a topic that is so controversial.
Fire.
That is so flames. Might make your head pop off.
Flaming.
It's flaming?
Yes.
We'll be back at 2.2 Zoe What Mornings. Holla!
And one of the greatest tragedies in life is getting to the end of your life and looking back and realizing it was mediocre and it didn't have to be that way. The number one reason is people are unwilling to listen and care about what's important to the other person. But what if you could be someone who dared to care about everybody in your life? When you're in love, smoke gets in your eyes. But when you're anxious, you talk more than you listen. Here's your tip. Ready for the tip? Okay. Focus on the future that nobody has screwed up yet. Because when you focus on something that's already happened, people just get into a pissing match. It's a he said, she said. So one of the things you can do, you try this, but you got to listen and not get defensive. Say to anyone who's important in your life, say to your wife or your husband, let's say your husband or dad, going forward, how can I be a better husband? Going forward, how can I be a better dad? And then also listen to whatever they say, and this is your chance to invite them to get stuff off their chest that they haven't been able to because you get into this pissing match. And then when they say, going forward, if you could stop doing this or start doing this, you'll see they start to relax. And then the second thing is, if you say to them, look them right in the eye, at my worst, when I haven't done that, or I've done the negative thing, how bad am I capable of making you feel? And what's going to happen is you're going to see them just unload, and you won't get defensive because you're in charge of the conversation. See, when they throw it at you, you get defensive. But when you're inviting them to hit me with your best punch, get it off your chest, you will see them calm down. And then the third thing you ask them is you say, if I were to fix that, if I committed to fix that one thing going forward, what would be the effect on you and me? And here's the deal. If you've been with this person less than 10 years, the hurt is still ripe, and they will start to cry with relief. If you've been with them more than 10 years, often the hurt is crossed over into anger. And when you say that, they may say something in a negative way, but stay centered and say, look, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I'm still going to commit to doing this thing because I didn't know it was so bad, and I didn't want to know.
Wow. The reason why we started this show with Doc is because we're going to need some relationship tips once we reveal this topic today. It's a heavy topic, and that's going to be a new segment on the show, Dr. G's relationship toolbox. We need tools. We need to get better in our relationships. That's the only way we're going to heal ourselves. Let me reveal the topic for today. The rise of gay fatherhood. Can gay fatherhood or same-sex parenting, parents, be the answer for fatherlessness, not only in America, because you know the old axiom, if America has a cold, the African American community
has AIDS. That's just
has AIDS. Just Jesus, we have AIDS.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Of course not.
So that's today's topic. We want to know. I mean, that's been a big complaint. Sisters been complaining about brothers not being in their sons' and daughters' lives. Would same-sex parenting be a viable option? No. Bang, chain, bang, bang, bang. Okay, well, I'm just saying, would it be? 855-878-4652 is the number to dial. I have questions before I introduce my guests. Let's listen to this. I actually got a tweet from Twitter. This dude, his name is @Mr_U_right, right? @Mr. right. He says, same-sex parenting is an oxymoron for children to have masculine energy around them all the time. You need to have a man with female energy, or this is confusion by design.
Has he seen?
I'm just saying, this is what he said. So here's the question. or some of the questions I have. True or false, the black community would be better off or worse off with the acceptance of same-sex/gay parenting? How does a child who is being raised by two dads deal with a holiday like Mother's Day? Something to think about, right? 855-878-4652. And the reverse of that. How does a child being raised by two women deal with Father's Day? Call us. I mean, these are some, let me get these questions out and then I'm coming to you guys. Everybody, I'm going to introduce everybody. How does a child who is being raised, here's another one. Can heterosexual fathers be a source? This is very deep because I know Lewis Dix and I know this brother right here and I know this brother over here. We really invest. But let me just, how can heterosexual fathers be a source of emotional and nurturing support for their children? And if heterosexual men can be nurturers, is it too much of a leap to say homosexual men can't? I think homosexual men can too, right? Somebody call us and let us know what you think of these questions, right? What about, you guys remember the television show The Munsters?
Yeah. Herman. Fame Stone?
Right? No. There was a woman and a man in that relationship, but the family was monsters. They were monsters. They had one regular person in that family, right?
And she acted like she didn't know shit.
But she kept people away from her family because they were monsters. She did, Marilyn, that was the name of the character.
I'm dying.
She would bring people in, but it was always uncomfortable and awkward because dad's Frankenstein, mom's a vampire, grandpa's in the dungeon with a dragon. There's a family of monsters.
You got to let me do it.
Let me finish. Is same-sex parenting, is there a stigma like that with these children? Like, should I bring people around? How are they going to view these people? Are they going to see my family as a family of weirdos? I mean, who has two moms? Who has two dads? How do you live? How do you cope? These are the questions. Call us right now at 855-878-4652. Let me introduce our first two guests of today. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, one of the most intelligent, funny, creative, irascible, great word, Jeff Brown, irascible, ornery,
obstinate,
right? But truthful motherfuckers you ever gonna meet in your life. Good friend of mine got into a classic argument with him on the air, which would have...
Oh, shit, I thought you were talking about me.
No, I don't even like you like that.
I know.
Without further ado, Foxhole family in the building, none other than Lewis Dix.
That was very nice of you. And congratulations on your
He's dodging
son.
my chess game.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Actually, I played last night with myself. You know, one of the things I was thinking about your last question, as far as you saying how can they, when they have to bring someone in their home, and I think that's universal. Mm-hmm. You have to edit yourself because you have certain things inside your home and certain things you do outside your home. So even in a heterosexual home, we would talk before someone came over. Hey, let's put that away because he's Jewish and we don't need to, when we just go over a friend's house who were Jewish, Orthodox, we used to get into that, have two dishwashers, two dishes. So we learn who people are, and then you edit yourself, and you have to. And I think the same thing is going to happen in America. We will begin to edit ourselves and defining what's right and wrong within, the gay family.
Wow.
Because it's the toughest thing, I believe, for human beings is to edit themselves from what they've learned in home. That this is right. That's what happens when you find out your dad's been cheating on your mom.
With a dude.
Okay.
How about that?
Well, that's a whole different editing.
Whole nother
because you have to go way back. With the other editing, if it's your dad messing with a woman, that's something I've seen. If it's something I have not seen, I have to go back to edit what someone else told me it was wrong, it was right. And I think that's what's important. I think we now have to get to a point where America's going to have to begin editing themselves from their self-homegrown bigotry.
Wow.
What if you
let me introduce him. I'm coming to everybody. We got real men don't play in the building. Uncle Bobby, Glanton-Smith. This dude don't play. He been calling me all week saying fish grease is about to get poured on everybody because of this
Uncle
topic.
Don't play.
But I feel like we got to have this topic. Is same-sex parenting, whether it's two women or two men, an affront a blatant disrespect to the institution of marriage and what it means to be a mother and what it means to be a father. Bobby Glanton.
Well, first of all, I think everybody that's born has one thing in common. We're eventually going to die. These other distinctions...
James Hanna.
These other distinctions that we have made throughout the course of men being and women being on the planet has changed dramatically in the last few years, and it's become very complicated. And I think the next version of the Bible should be written in pencil, because so many things are going to have to be changed based upon this new quote-unquote reality. And one of the challenges people like myself has is, who's defining the narrative? Because marriage, as the institution that I'm familiar with, was between a man and a woman for as long as I can remember and as long as I can go back in recorded history. But now we've pivoted in this new direction, and it's confusing to some people. Other people are more accepting.
But Bobby, can I ask you this? Is it a bad thing that a young, impoverished African-American male child be adopted and placed in a home with two male dads?
I don't know yet, because we haven't had enough samples of that. Because, children have been raised in all kind of environments. A good friend of mine, Antoine Fisher, was raised in the streets, and he has become a very productive, successful, well-balanced human being. So you can overcome practically any circumstance, but as a rule, there is some complications, because at a certain age, depends on how young that adoption went down. Because if it's a baby, then who's feeding the baby? Okay, who's feeding the child?
Feeding what? You mean
breast milk?
Well, okay.
Yeah.
First of all,
you start out with breast milk. But some of us did.
But
before we get into
but
it,
I wasn't even really through,
but that's
bruh.
ridiculous.
I didn't stop you when you was talking.
Well, I know, but I had to stop you because you were saying something.
How you gonna stop me? What
Because
the
it didn't
hell
make
you gonna
sense.
say to
Someone's
you?
listening.
Who the fuck are you?
Okay,
Well, I'm
he's
somebody
got a
that's
point.
speaking up.
Louis,
Don't cut me off, man.
Stop me.
No, I
Don't
have to
cut
stop
me
you.
off,
Now,
man.
wait.
I don't
I
care
got you.
about
I got you, Uncle Bobby. I got you, Uncle Bobby.
Legendary Louis Dix.
I got you.
I understand why black men think that they gonna cuss at you. That's gonna stop your thought problem. That's not. That's weak.
Here's my thought process. What I'd like to do is to allow him to get this mindless shit out of his head, since you think it's mindless shit. Now, at the end of his mindless shit, you can hit us with your incredible reason.
I'm not saying it's incredible.
But no,
that's
what it feels like. I can't tell you what it is. I can tell you what it looks like.
But I'm just telling you that was my point, because you stop a point so it doesn't roll down the ignorant road.
Well, wow. But finish your thought.
Well, and first of all, it is my thought.
So finish it, Bobby.
All right.
You got
Without further interruption, I'll let you know when I get to the period. And I mean the end of my discourse. As I was saying, in terms of what I believe and I live by, and that is, if a person takes a child into their home in infancy, in the history of the world, the children that was breastfed understood love, the connection to that familiarity, because they came out of somebody's womb. Mm-hmm. So if you take them out of that environment, you don't necessarily know how that child is going to respond to love, to other things that some of us take for granted, because that's how we was produced and raised. Great. So until we have a sample of that particular population,
30 years down the road,
I'm not going to say that that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. Mm-hmm. And that was the only point I was trying to make before I was rudely interrupted.
All right, listen, we got to take a quick break.
You're going to get interrupted in life.
And when I come back, we're going to get deeper into this topic. It's going to be crazy. Gay fatherhood?
Gay daddies.
Gay daddies. We'll be back.
He's written for Chris Rock. He's worked on the Damon Wayans show. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and show your love for Mr. James Hanna. Show your love for James Hanna. Y'all show your love. Hey, what's up? Welcome to another installment of Truth Paste with James Hanna. How you doing? Let's see. Hey, New Birth members. How you doing? Apparently your preacher had to settle out of court. What's up with that? Where's that nigga's faith? Wow, settling out of court on a sex abuse charge from 4 young boys. Basically, he's like this. Fuck it, I'm just gonna say it. If that don't tell y'all the nigga did it. Oh wait, and he didn't just settle out of court. One of the conditions was
he has to take an AIDS test. Who does that? An AIDS test is part of the... Wow. I remember when I did a vlog on this a couple of months ago, and all you holy rollers came at me with this thing, I'm going to hell, and, you know, for going after the preacher like that. And I'm going to say, yeah, if I'm going to hell, you niggas are going to hell, right? We're going to be next door neighbors in hell for y'all following a false prophet. So I'll see you there. Here's the thing. Here's my theory on Bishop Long. See, the thing is, it's not about the gayness. So all you gay dudes that are watching this right now, please don't get that twisted. It's the hypocrisy. Okay? It's the fact that he held a parade against gay marriage. And let me break that down. Bishop Eddie Long was down with George Bush, which should have raised you niggas' eyebrows right there, that your black preacher was down with George Bush. But, you know, I guess some of y'all are just sheep and you can't help yourselves. He was down with George Bush when George Bush was big on the whole anti-gay marriage thing. And I think maybe George Bush asked him, can you say something or do something, you know, to show some solidarity against gay marriage? And that's where Eddie fucked up. Okay, right there, he should have said no. Okay, he should have just said, you know what, George, I can't do that. I can't speak out against gay marriage because I'm a state trooper in the Hershey Highway. I can't speak out against gay marriage because in my will, I want to be cremated and have my ashes thrown on Bow Wow.
Wow. James Hanna, rest in peace.
Oh, my God.
That's amazing. I don't understand a word of this stuff.
No, I figured, you know,
I know.
that clip would be relevant.
We'll get you a reference.
Hey, so
Yeah.
was he in studio at the Foxhole back when we were over there?
Yeah, he came over there a few times. Came to the Voice of Reason.
I was wondering who he was
times.
until right now, and I said, I met him at the Foxhole
Great
years
dude.
ago, man. But I didn't really know
Great
him.
dude.
But golly.
I mean, this is a heavy topic, and I think it's important because I guess having a father in any capacity, regardless of their lifestyle, would probably be better than not having a father at all. I don't know.
For that.
Somebody call us at 855-878-4652. I think we have a doctor on the line who can probably give us a little bit more insight. Doc, talk to us about this phenomena, this growing movement of, you know, I guess alternative parenting, right? Can you talk to us about it a little bit?
Sure. Well, there have been children without fathers throughout history. A lot of men die along the way. A lot of mothers die along the way. And in a strong community, relatives and sometimes just friends step in to take care of those child. And I think it doesn't matter whether they're gay or straight or male or female. What matters, are they responsible and do they care for the children? And
Interesting.
so many parents have children accidentally and they don't really care, and those children are at terrible risk. The one thing that gay parents really have going for them is most of them are choosing their children, often children that are unwanted by the heterosexual parents who brought them into this world. And the very fact that they're stepping up and choosing those children, choosing the responsibilities of being a parent, speaks very highly for them and very optimistically for the future of that child.
That's a good point. Dr. Goulston?
You know, he makes a great point that when you make choices, you're more in the game than when you say, well, I'll get married and I guess we'll have kids because other people are doing it, and I guess they'll sort of take care of themselves. And he makes a great point about, you know, when you choose someone as you have to, and you have to stand up to the rest of the world. If you choose a gay partner and you choose to adopt a child or have one through in vitro or something like that, that is a conscious choice. But he said something that I think was important, and I want to bring this up because I just heard that I went to high school outside of Boston, and they had their third suicide 3 or 4 days ago in the high school in the last few months, and so that got me really thinking about what happens to these teenagers that just take their lives and fall apart. I think part of parenting is when you're really young and you can't fend for yourself, what you need, and sometimes it comes from the mom, sometimes it comes from the dad, what you need when you are in pain is you need comfort. And not overdone, but comfort, and that can come from a kind of female energy or a caring energy. That can come from a man, that can come from a woman. More used to it coming from a woman. And what you also need is courage energy, and that comes from a man. Mm-hmm. And so you fall down. What you need is someone to come in and just sort of comfort that, and with that comfort, you feel whole, like you're not going to fall apart. You skin your knee, it doesn't mean your leg's going to fall off. But then you need an energy that comes in and looks at it and says, I think you can go out and play the next quarter. You'll be okay. And you need energy that's focused on the kids as opposed to energy in which the kids are an extension of the parents, and the parents are trying to get that second scoop of ice cream from life that they couldn't get for themselves, using their kids to get it for them.
Wow. Lewis?
Yeah, when you think about how people deal with their children, the first thing you have to do is you have to be selfless, because it is just a journey that no one is prepared for. That's why it's important that when I was discussing the thing about when he was saying slavery days and the breast milk, you get way beyond that once you become a parent. Breast milk, you nurture, you love, you're consistent. The most important thing for a person to love a child is being there. That's the first thing they teach you when you leave a room. You tell a child, I'll be right back. And then you come back. They learn that consistency. When you don't come back, it's the same thing in human nature. Then I don't expect you to come back. You said you're going to come back 4 times, you're not coming back. So the same thing, it can be male or female, as long as they keep coming back and nurturing. That's what a child trusts. Even now, my children in college, the whole thing is if you don't pick up your phone, they think something's wrong because they're used to you picking up the phone. Now, you have to edit yourself as a parent because they won't pick up your call.
Right.
So it doesn't come back. That's what it comes in being selfless, is because you know you're not going to get it back.
Wow.
You just know.
Wow. Bobby?
Different strokes for different folks, because at the end of the day, all over the world, people have reproduced. And in some situations, they've been successful, and in others, they haven't. But it started from the same place. And I'm of the opinion that you teach a child how to do for themselves. And there's certain things that 2 men raising a child, unless they bring in a third person, they're not going to be able to expose that male child to a certain behavior that he might embrace if he's not exposed to that. And when you get to a certain age, and if he starts liking girls, what's their frame of reference?
Right, that's a good... So Dr. Kipnis and Dr. Goulston and Jeff, talk to me about this here, because Bobby just touched on something that's huge. Depending on... Wait.
I'm in a heterosexual marriage.
You're in a heterosexual marriage.
And I try to teach my children to be open-minded towards gay people, towards people who aren't Jewish, towards people who are a different color than we are, and so forth. So I would hope that any good gay couple would do the same with their children and say, well, this is what we've chosen for one another, but you're different than us. If you're oriented towards the other sex, that's terrific. And we'll support you in the choices that you make. It isn't a cult that they try to indoctrinate people.
But some people feel like it.
Some people feel like into it.
No, it's sucked into it. Okay, go ahead, Jeff. Go into it.
I don't know. I can't. I don't have much of a platform to stand on with regard to heterosexuals raising kids, because the world is fucked up. So I don't really have a great place to stand. But also the concept of keep an open mind with regard to what Uncle Bobby said makes no sense to me. That's like my son needing to learn how to throw a football, and we go out to a football field, and I've never thrown a football, I've never seen a football thrown, I play baseball. I'm gonna give him this football and tell him to keep an open mind. I don't know how that's gonna work. He needs somebody with some experience throwing a goddamn football.
That's a good point. Goulston?
No, I gotta read something. It'll take a minute, but it's worth it. Check out this poem.
Hey, you have a minute.
Children learn what... There's a famous poem.
Right.
Children Learn What They Live by Dorothy Law Nolte. If children live with criticism, they learn to condemn. If children live with hostility, they learn to fight. If children learn with fear, they learn to be apprehensive. If children live with pity, they learn to feel sorry for themselves. If children live with ridicule, they learn to feel shy. If children live with jealousy, they learn to feel envy. If children live with shame, they learn to feel guilty. If children live with encouragement, they learn confidence. If children live with tolerance, they learn patience. If children live with praise, they learn appreciation. If children live with acceptance, they learn to love. If children live with approval, they learn to like themselves. If children live with recognition, they learn it is good to have a goal. If children live with sharing, they learn generosity. If children live with honesty, they learn truthfulness. I'm almost done. If children live with fairness, they learn justice. If children live with kindness and consideration, they learn respect. If children live with security, they learn to have faith in themselves and those around them. Finally, if children live with friendliness, they learn the world is a nice place in which to live. But that's a good
But
poem.
that's obvious.
Yeah, and
But you know
that's
what?
it's not so obvious.
Let me just say
and it's
this.
also the shittiest poem I've ever heard in my life.
No, but think of it this way.
Was that a haiku?
If we're gonna
That wasn't a haiku, was it?
No, that was high. I don't know what that was. But I'm just saying, if we follow the thought process and the premise of that poem, then that would also say if children live with homosexual men, they're going to grow up to be homosexual. If children live with lesbian women, they're going to grow up to be lesbian.
And envy, shyness, tolerance, and guilt are all human. They're human. There are times I'm shy. There's times I'm guilty. There's times
But
I'm
I think
envious.
that poem speaks to this basic concept of children learn not from what you say, but from how you live. So if that's the case, that goes back to Bobby's point about a reference point. Can two homosexual men raise a young boy to a heterosexual lifestyle?
Of course.
Not if they don't have a reference point in that house. I think that's the point Bobby's alluding to. Go ahead.
But the reference points, here's the thing, I love this book, and other people familiar with it, Outliers. It's about, you had 10,000 hours to get good at something. And that's what has to happen. If you put 10,000 hours to someone and you get to know them, that's what it's about. It's about getting to know them. So I have parents, I coach 7th grade basketball. I have 2 same-sex parents on a bunch of my teams. The kid to come up, I don't know that they're same-sex parents until they come up. I'm talking to one dad, and then the other dad comes up, I'm the father. Well, then you have to edit yourself. You have to edit yourself and listen to that person, because I don't know those parents, but I know the kid, and I know how hard that kid works. And I thought, in my mind, I was like, this is a great kid. He works hard. 6th grade, he's busting his behind. Man, his parents must be great parents. So I go to the dad.
Do you think that with gay parents that they have, because they've had to live feeling different, that they will respect their child's choice more than heterosexuals who may expect their kids to live the way they do?
If they've had enough role models, and if they're selfless enough to make that change in the mix of the fight.
Just because you're gay don't make you selfless.
Because that's what happens with African American men. People kept saying we weren't good fathers. We weren't this. We weren't that.
They still say that.
Well, to the point of, you got to keep in mind, when we were in slavery, we had to be there. And now, once we get out of slavery, we're in the 60s and 70s when things were great. Same black families. Now we're in this mix where we're having different families because the men are being watered down.
Topic is heating up. We'll be back in 2.2 seconds. 855-878-4652. TradioV, Radio NTV, Zo What Morning Show. Taking a break. Be back in a quick second. I love these tracks.
Shout out to Broadway.
James Broadway.
That boy is ridiculous.
Probably one of the most underrated producers ever, right? Can we get that knocking a little bit? Turn some volume up.
That's what that means. That means decrease the resistance on the volume potentiometer when he says get that knocking.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zo What Morning back in the building. Same-sex parenting is our topic today. Is gay fatherhood, homosexual fatherhood, and same-sex parenting, is that a viable option for fatherlessness in America? We have on the line right now Dr. Kipnis. We've got Louis Dix, Uncle Bobby, Glanton-Smith, author of Real Men Don't Play, Dr. Mark Goulston, author of Every Book in Your Local Library, and legendary comedian.
Yeah, point your finger. No, point your damn finger. Stick your finger. Let's see.
And Jeff Brown. Thank you. Here we go. Back to the topic, though.
That's it.
And I want to start with Kipnis and Goulston here. Dr. Kipnis, you're on the line with us right now. Talk to us about the village concept. See, I have a 17-year-old son, and every male friend of mine, because there's very few that I trust, every male friend of mine is a part of my extended village that speaks to my 17-year-old son. Like, my son gets to a point where he kind of disconnects, but then, he might get hit by Uncle Bobby. And Bobby say, hey, now, goddammit, shut your damn mouth, do what your daddy said, because this is why. And it'll be the same thing that I would have said to him.
But he don't give it a yeah.
But he's done tuned me out at a certain point. So my point is, how does the village effect work for same-sex parents? Do same-sex parents say, well, we're two guys, do we enlist a female to come in and give some nurturing tips? Or we're two women, do we enlist a male to be a figure to teach this child the way to go? Because I honestly believe that you need both male and female energy. Dr. Kipnis, talk to me about that.
Dr. Kipnis?
Dr. Kipnis?
Dr. Kipnis.
Paging Dr. Kipnis.
Dr. Kipnis.
We got another doctor.
He had to go do
You said the same thing James Hanna said.
Yeah, we'll go back. It's too early for
soon.
James.
Too soon.
He's dead.
Too soon.
Oh, Jesus. Dr. Goulston, can you fill that question?
I'll try and fill, and I hope Dr. Kipnis comes back.
Yeah.
I think what it takes is parents who are humble about what they don't know. Because one of the things that was kind of was a scar to me, and my dad, my dad passed away 1995, and one of the things that I think was a scar between him and my brothers is that every now and then, if we came up with something that he didn't understand, he would occasionally say, "What makes you think you know anything about anything?" And part of it is he was very good with numbers. He was an accountant. He wasn't all that diversified. He wasn't all that flexible. And I think whenever we pushed him outside of his comfort zone, he probably got nervous. And I feel really kind of sad, because if he had just said, I don't know anything about that, but so-and-so's dad knows a lot about that, go talk to them. My brothers and I would have said to my dad, you know a lot about numbers. You're a good man. That's okay. You do good stuff. But instead, sometimes when you push someone out of their comfort zone and competence zone, they feel nervous, and they have a way of putting down their kids, as opposed to saying, that's really good, and I know nothing about that, but so-and-so is on the team, talk to them. Talk to that dad. I think he knows that stuff.
Takes a village.
Now, tell me a quick story
humble.
about your dad, the opposite.
What do you mean?
Meaning that where he knew something. Because, see, what I get is I get a lot of people remembering all the...
Oh, the negative.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And my thing, and that's what I'm saying, but that piles on fathers, is you just highlighted a negative where I'm sure he had 10 positives.
No.
And why didn't you do that?
How are you sure about that?
Because he was in his life. He's talking about it.
No, and
You mean, wait. Hold your thought for a minute. So basically what you're telling me, because I can't tell you what it is, but I'm going to tell you what it look like. I'm going to tell you what, no, I can't tell you what it ain't. I'm going to tell you what it looked like. What it looked like, you telling me, is that every father that is there has 10 positives for each negative.
No.
And I can give you 10
I did not
positives.
say that.
No, he didn't
I
say
did not say that.
I didn't say that. I said what it looked like.
No,
because he don't know your dad. Does he know your dad?
Let the white man interpret the black man.
Thank you.
Let white authority clear this up.
Yeah, we're just monkeys throwing shit. What do we know?
So let me read between
Calm
your
down,
words.
natives.
What I heard you saying is too many people focus on the negative from their parents, and it becomes this negative story. And there's really, if they just push themselves, they can recognize the positive and rejoice in that and feel good and feel closer instead of feeling this gap towards people.
Right, because the gap is now between you and your father, where it is, because we learn as African Americans, we have to overlook so many gaps to function.
My sweet dick, I don't believe that.
Oh, come on, when you drove over here, wherever you drive, if you drive to Beverly Hills, Mulholland Drive.
Okay, so, but here's a point. Anybody who's a father in this room will relate to this. I think what my father told me is that when you feel duty-bound and responsible to your family, you show up and go to work. Sometimes you don't feel like it. Sometimes you're going to be beaten down, but you just do it day after day because you owe it to your family. And I don't think he talked about it. What we saw is him come home sometimes beaten down, but he did that day after day. And I can tell you, as a parent, and I feel duty-bound to my kids, I know what that's like. And to whatever extent I minimize that and I judged it, I want to tell you, Dad, I'm sorry. And you deserve better from me.
Wow. Bobby, then Jeff.
For the sake of clarity, Well, there's some words in the English language that really make it easy for people to understand who's speaking for who, and I eliminates that because you own your own words when you speak in first person. When you start using we and they, then you have brought a lot of people to the conversation that are not there. And you can't speak with authority about people that you don't know like that. So in the course of having this discussion, I would love it if we clarify who are we speaking for.
Wait, I got to ask Bobby something because he's done this in every show, and I want to understand you better. And I appreciate that because I think when we start making generalities,
like
we
right
use
now,
the
we, yeah. Who is we?
Okay.
Us at the table right now.
No. What he's saying is we need to use I. When I start making generalities, it goes down a road that's often not productive. But what I want to find out is the story behind the story in you, because there's a part of you brought this up where and you're sensitized to it, that when people start using the we, it gets destructive, it gets dangerous, it gets lynch mobby. So tell me, what's the story about why it's so important?
You don't get to say lynch mob, Doc.
Why it's so important to speak from I and not speak from they or we?
Well, it makes it possible for you to understand clearly, unequivocally, what I'm talking about. You don't have to agree with it, and that's fine. But if I start bringing other people into the conversation, then you don't really know what I'm talking about. Not really, not 100%. When I speak in first person, I'll tell you where it comes from. It comes from sitting in circles for the last 20 years where the protocol was you don't speak for other people because you can't. You can't tell me what's in my heart. You can tell me your opinion of it, but you can't speak for me. I can't speak for you. Okay. And I hear generalities that they become an identity for a race of people.
That's a good point.
I'm not trying to represent black people. I'm just black.
But we just did that with the gays. What you just said, you just did by identifying that gays couldn't do this, they couldn't do that. That's what you just did.
No, I didn't.
You said that.
I didn't do that.
A gay
you
man.
Said I said.
No, you said a gay man. You said they can't raise. They need this. They
did
need
I say
that.
Did
yes,
I say
you
that,
did.
y'all?
Run the tape.
Did I say that?
Yes.
View the tape.
View the tape.
We can't view the tape while it's taping.
That's what you said.
No, that's what you said. I said. I know what I said.
I'm telling you what you said.
Now, when I listen to Bobby, I hear him saying, "I see it this way."
Right.
Which is different than this is
the way it is.
As opposed to, and also when you say we, I say we as fathers and parents. There is a group dynamic.
Okay.
When we say we.
This is
as
all,
a fatherhood, there's a we.
This is all semantics.
It's a fraternity.
Yes.
The fatherhood fraternity.
Just like it's black men fraternity.
There's
right.
a
When
big
you talk
pink
about
elephant.
black men, you
there's a big
generalize it.
pink gay elephant that we're all ignoring in the room.
Where?
Okay.
King?
It is here. No. That's hilarious. What's up, King? Oh my God. No.
And his jacket is very gay.
It's a nice jacket, fam.
That is fruity.
Well, go ahead.
You don't want to be jumping out of Maserati in that thing.
Go ahead, man.
Which is this. We have preconceived notions about gay guys. Everybody thinks Daisy Dukes and clogs with T-shirt tied in a knot. Okay, right. That is that pervasive mindset that you go at gay guys. I'm
is
gonna
that
say
the gay father? That's the gay father outfit.
Yeah, walking down Venice Beach holding a pink balloon, licking a big old lollipop slow. Yeah, that's where everybody's going. Let me go here. I'm gonna be the first to say that heterosexual parents haven't done such a bang-up fucking job. Now,
there we go.
Okay, let's just look at it. It is how it is. As a father, personally, let me speak for me. With regard to children looking at the negative, I looked at a bunch of negative shit that came up in my childhood, and I didn't like it. And I didn't get to understand and respect it until I was adult looking at the tools that they had. I am a father. If my children don't find me to be an asshole at least 20% of the time, I'm fucked up. Being a father, I'm not here to make things comfortable for you. I am here. I raise black sons. My first job is to see to it that they are not warehoused one day making shit cheap like they live in China. That's my first job. Yeah. It is not to be their buddy. It is not to make shit warm and fuzzy. If you look close at any success, you will find an asshole. There is no Jackson 5 without Joe. You need an asshole, okay? And that is daddy's job, asshole. That's my first job.
Asshole.
I love
Listen,
it.
so listen, we got to take another quick break.
Okay,
When you guys hear
one quick disclaimer.
When you hear the music,
I don't have a problem with who people are. I just want to know what the rules of engagement are. I don't have a problem with gay people, but don't throw labels out there that are inconsistent with the facts.
That's a good
all.
point. We can go back into that even deeper when we come back. Zo What Morning Show is getting crazier and crazier. 855-878-4652. We'll be back at 2.2.
Oh my God, how he has a rap career is beyond me. I don't get it. And he takes his shirt off. Oh my God, he looks like 50 pounds of chewed Tootsie Rolls with his... All right. Now, you are in white fashion. You know white boys always leave the house like they're going to help somebody move. To enlist and defend the horrible hoes. There are some horrible people. And what you need to do, start policing your own.
That's nice, man.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the intellectual rant. Jeff Brown is about to go on it right now. Jeff, what's under your craw? What's stuck there? Go in, dude.
I had a whole nother way that I wanted to go, but I was punched in the stomach at 2:00 this morning. My best friend in this game, James Hanna, died. And I think the thing that I gotta speak to is fatherhood, which kind of ties in. I wish I had done this at the end because it's kind of in the middle of what we're doing. But James Hanna, like him or not, was a great father. He made sacrifices that a lot of cats I know wouldn't for his family. And he was a father first. True, he was a fucking asshole. But that's why he's my friend, because I am an asshole as well. Assholes get things done. What I really think we need to stop doing as a people with regard to gays, with regard to blacks, with regard to any group, is putting this monolithic cover over them that they have to do shit a certain way. True, I don't know. I wasn't raised by two gay dudes. I had an Uncle Richard who... people say that Little Richard gets his Little Richard name from my Uncle Big Richard. That is really true, because my uncle, he was gay as a $3 bill. This dude was really he was sweet as Christmas cookies. But I was raised with him as a factor.
You stupid.
I was raised with him as a factor. I think if gay dudes, if somebody wants to take children and make them better, we need to get the fuck out the way. That's what I think. I don't know. And again, this is not my sexual preference. Speaking of sexual preference, to the football player, his name Sam?
Yeah, the football guy from Missouri.
Explain to me why I have to know who you're fucking.
Is this your rant?
Yes. I'm all over the page.
Keep your cornhole to yourself.
Yes. If you take yam in the cornhole, that's your business. If I'm not fucking you, I don't need to know who you fuck. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of everybody coming out. You know what that's like? That's like me walking in a boardroom and we all sell doorknobs. And I go, hey guys, guess who I'm fucking? It has nothing to do with doorknobs. I don't want to know, okay? If you're gay, there's probably some freaky, nasty shit. And I'm probably the nastiest dude at this table. That's none of your fucking business that I do with my wife. It will repulse you. And that's the same thing it is with me and gay sex. I'm not saying, well, gay guy sex, because that's kind of hypocritical with all the lesbian porn I have.
Which is acceptable, by the way.
Absolutely. Girls licking and liking girls. I have no problem.
What's that old joke? Yeah, two guys can't watch that, but two women? Hey.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
Okay, if that's
Double
what you
standard.
do, if that's what you do, fine. Just understand that some people think it's not okay. Okay,
it's a rant, not a filibuster. We got a caller on line 2.
Right.
Deshaun, let's go.
Hey, what's up?
What's happening? Talk to
What's
us.
going on?
My computer has like a delay on it, so I don't know how far you guys got. But what I wanted to say was I think that nature takes care of itself in its own way. I think that, we're built like puzzle pieces. A man is built to intersect with a woman to make the next puzzle piece. So if you disrupt that, you're bound to have problems.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
you and Al Gore with this
and I
global
think,
warming.
What about the problems we have now?
Yeah, really.
Where'd they come from?
From nature, from man-made.
There's problems, but like I said, I just think that we all need that. We all need that 50 and 50, that yin and yang, that male energy and that feminine energy.
I believe that.
How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 25.
Do you have any gay friends?
Yeah, my uncle's gay.
Okay, so you have close gay friends.
My uncle's gay, my aunt's gay, and I have a couple other gay cousins.
And how are they doing on the 50-50 thing?
They actually don't have any kids. They have actually, I'll take that back. My aunt, she has a girlfriend who has a kid, and even though the kid's very small, I think that even though she tries to impart male energy into the kid, it's a false type of energy, because she herself didn't grow up as a man, so she can never give a full male perspective
I get that.
a kid.
I mean, because and you know what, caller,
yeah.
you had some great points. We have to move on. There's other callers backing up, but I appreciate that. He makes a great point. Especially in the black community, we have this misnomer that we don't even think our women can raise our boys, right?
I don't think that's true.
But is this not a common argument we've had on this show?
Yes. I don't even think it's an argument. It's a fact.
Where it's been, girl, you can't raise him after a certain point. It's about me.
Yeah.
So if we're going to have two mamas raising a young boy with an alternative sex life, does that not pose even more difficulties with regards to raising this kid? Now, before we all jump on that, let me introduce another good friend of the So What movement. He came on the Voice of Reason, Foxhole Radio, a while ago. This dude is cold, too. He's a doctor, and he's white. So we have to listen. White people have the truth, right? Dr. Alan Berger, Ph.D., he talks about emotional sobriety and relationships. All jokes aside, very sharp cat. I like to bring in people that can add information and context to what we're doing. White, black, or whatever. Berger, talk to me about the rising phenomena of same-sex marriages and some of the difficulties in raising a family.
Well, I love this discussion, and you were going to call Aaron Kipnis to kind of weigh in on this, and Aaron...
Oh, he called in.
Yeah, he did great. He's been a strong voice in the men's movement now for many, many years. But see, the point here is that my experience in, let's say, working with gay couples is they always kind of have a masculine energy in it, and there's also a feminine energy. So when the other person said, hey, there's always this kind of fit that takes place, well, that's true. And what we need to talk about is, what does that masculine energy do to a young boy growing up, and what does that feminine energy do? And for me, the person that talked about this great was Eric Fromm. When he talked about the art of loving. And in the art of loving, what he said is that the masculine energy is a conditional energy. It's kind of like what you were talking about before. It says, I love you, but you better go take the garbage out.
Yeah.
Right? I love you, but there's conditions to this love I have for you. And a child, boy or girl, needs that, because if not, they go out in the world and expect to get what the mother's love is unconditional, right? So the mother's love says, I love you no matter what. Jeffrey Dahmer's mother loves him. Doesn't matter he was eating his neighbors. It is doesn't matter, right? See, so what we got to talk about is, what does that masculine energy look like? Because that can be manifested in a gay couple, right? They can have that.
Sort of.
Yeah, it can. Because the masculine energy, you'll even see couples, heterosexual couples, divide this. The guy will be the much more softer, feminine part, and the woman will have more of that masculine heart energy. So see, I think we got to start talking about, what does that energy look like, and what does that energy need to do to a child to help that child develop into a whole person?
So, Dr. Berger, let me ask you really quickly. Does masculine and feminine energy, can we reduce it down to good cop, bad cop, kind of?
It's got those
Those
flavors
elements,
to it,
yeah.
right? You know, you were calling it the asshole factor,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's what you were addressing.
You're gonna have to deal with your father. Let me tell you, my daughter does this. My daughter will go to her mother with all of her issues at school until it gets too bad. Then it's calling the Scud
cleaner.
missile dad, because I come in banging, raining hellfire, and she goes, no, it's not time for you. It's not time. It's not you.
We're still handling it.
It's
We're
mom.
still handling it. It's mom time.
She was like, and then when she comes to me, it's very subtle. Daddy, now's the time. Miss Williams, 6th period.
Exactly.
I think part. I want to know if Alan will weigh in on this. I think part of the male energy is you're there to prepare your kids to make it in the world, whereas I think part of the female energy is you're trying to prepare your kid to be able to connect to other people. Ooh. And if you are missing big time in either of those, you're missing. You're missing out. You're AWOL in your life, and so and I think you need that. I think you need your that masculine energy to kind of give you a dry run before you go out to work, and then you're fired because a little conditional energy out in the job got you too upset.
Right. I have another story.
Yes.
I just cussed my son out for like 3 days in a row because I'm telling him, just because you tore your ACL and you're out for the season in basketball doesn't mean you get to go into chill mode. I said, this is still your junior year. Colleges have called you and told you they still have your back. They're still going to support you and ride with you through this thing. And this isn't that bad of an injury nowadays. You can heal from it and rehab and all of that. So don't get relaxed. He then got relaxed, got his girlfriend, wants to bring her over. I said, listen, your relationship with your girlfriend is over unless you get your stuff together in terms of academics, right?
Right.
So he knew, like, Dad's not playing. This is real. I'm talking loud. He on the phone FaceTiming. I'm like, hey, the distraction on the phone. I'm going in.
Did I see that?
So, no.
Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, you saw me do that, right?
You had to base it out.
So then he came to me and said, well, my girlfriend says she's gonna fall back. I said, no, let me talk to your girlfriend. I talked to her. I said, listen, you guys can't be together unless you're supporting each other in your academic endeavors. That's the only way you can hang out. And it's not going to be any sex. It's not going to be any of that. We don't need any distractions. But my son followed suit. He said, well, if I'm going to hang with this girl, I got to abide by the conditions that my dad laid out.
There you go.
And then when I talked to the girl and said, listen, this is how you got to interface with him, she understood too and was like, listen,
Right on.
now the dude got up this morning at 6 a.m., got on the bus by himself, woke himself up.
Wow.
I said, well, damn, you woke yourself up? I was amazed. So I followed that, but my question is, with regards to relating to the opposite sex, can a heterosexual or can a homosexual marriage, a couple, raise a heterosexual child to have those kind of experiences? I hear the music. That means we got to take a quick break. Let's hear a little bit of this music. This is my homegirl. She did the intro starring you. Oh. She has an album coming out. This song is called Rapture. Why don't we vibe to it a little bit? We're going to take a break and we'll be back.
He's written for Chris Rock. He's worked on the Damon Wayans show. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and show your love for Mr. James Hanna. Show your love for James Hanna. Y'all show your love.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to another installment of Truth Paste with James Hanna. How you doing? Let's see. Get to it. Tracy Morgan is in the news. Y'all know this. It's all over the news. Tracy Morgan apparently was doing a stand-up comedy show in Nashville and said some anti-gay rant about how he didn't want a gay son and all this stuff he would do if he had a gay son. And before I go any further, gay people, I don't agree with anything Tracy Morgan is talking about. Okay, I don't condone it. I don't co-sign it. It's not cool what he said, but here's my problem. Y'all are going in on Tracy Morgan. I mean, it's all on CNN. I mean, it's everywhere. Y'all are going in on him. He dude just had to make an apology, and all of that is cool, except why didn't y'all do this with Bishop Eddie Long? Okay? What happened? Y'all dropped the ball on that one. Y'all, Bishop Eddie Long was doing and saying all kinds of shit in his church, anti-gay shit, the typical hellfire and brimstone shit about gay people. The dude actually had an anti-gay marriage parade a couple of years ago. Do you know how much energy it takes to do a parade, to put together a parade? Okay, you got to go to the city and get permits. You got to have streets closed off, traffic rearranged, and police coordinated. All this to say he's against two dudes getting married. And turns out Eddie Long is gay as a jewelry box. And y'all let that slide. Eddie Long got accused of fucking 4 teenage boys, and y'all let that slide, okay? Basically, that is the equivalent, the hypocritical equivalent of finding out that Newt Gingrich has a black granddaddy, okay? And y'all, nothing? Touching boys, all that stuff, nothing? And let me, all you celebrities who like to come out and say you've been molested when you got a book.
James Hanna, boy.
Hanna, rest in peace.
Wow, rest in peace.
Yes.
Lewis Dix had a quick point. Talk to us, Lewis.
No, you were talking about the families and if gays can raise heterosexual kids. And I was thinking about, every family, once they come together, you get married, you got to deal with extended family, you got to bring in new people, you got to figure out who's who, who's a threat, who's not a threat.
You marry another family.
Right.
Right.
And I think what happens is that, because you don't know the narrative that they're going to bring home. And again, I go back to the book of 10,000 Hours. And I think what's going to happen is the gay community is going to begin going through the same rigorous stuff that we had to go through as heterosexuals. Marriage, divorce. I can't wait.
Ellen DeGeneres is going through the divorce right now.
Is she?
Reportedly worth $220 million.
And see, that's what I'm saying. So now what's going to happen is now they're in America. Now you're in the mainstream. So get ready for it. The flood of jokes, the flood of everything that comes with the territory, just like us. Example is, you had this thing called welcome to singleblackparents.com. And what I did was it had these things about black parents. It says, as a single parent raising an African-American child, what I did was I put gay in it. As a gay parent raising a child, I discovered there were no magazines, newspapers, and websites. No one spoke to me in a positive way about the dynamics of gay parenting. So now they're going to have to go through these same things and get answers for these so they can answer in about 10 to 15 years.
And this is the thing this is my only gripe against the LGBT, if I'm saying it right, community. It's almost the same hustle. Almost. Almost. Not quite. Because I don't want to be misconstrued. Because a lot of people think because the LGBT community went the civil rights route that they're somehow equivalent to the black civil rights movement.
Let me borrow your struggle for a minute.
Right. So I'm not saying that it's the same thing, but it's still somewhat of a hustle. What happens with the black civil rights movement is we're striving to be accepted by the oppressor. I'm busting my ass to be acknowledged by you in your system. That's never going to happen.
No.
Ageism, racism, sexism, classism. Get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
This is some white institutional shit we built for us. This big pillar is a representation of our penis, not yours. It would be much bigger. So we're never going to acknowledge that. Yeah. So again, the gay community fighting to be normal. I want what y'all have or what you guys have established as normal in this society.
For whatever reason.
How can you fight to get into church when the basic tenets of Christianity says you're an abomination? So how can you fight to have marriage when the basic tenets of marriage is predicated on the church that sees you as a type of evil that God created without defining your purpose?
Dynasty.
Are you here to be fucked with? I just created you to be tormented. So why are you fighting to be normal when you should just be fighting to just be? Do you understand my point? So yes, it's good to have a family. Yes, it's good to want to adopt. And I think to some extent, especially if the same-sex family has an extended village of people that they can pull, that diversity that can help nurture that child, I think that's okay. But stop trying to be regular. That's my whole thing to the gay people. Just stop trying to be regular. You gay, you not regular right off the top.
Right off, yeah.
You're not regular.
No.
No, Zoe, you can't say that.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
you can.
What do you mean not regular?
Yeah, you
Left-handed.
can.
Listen.
Here's
I mean, that's just
regular.
like saying you're not regular as a black person.
I'm
No,
not.
it's not.
I'm not.
No,
You know
okay.
what is regular? How do you
Okay.
define regular?
Here. Let me.
Is it whole,
before-
1%, non-fat?
Are those all rhetorical? Would you like answers?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Funny.
Here's the first thing. Here's the first thing.
Okay.
I don't compare gay people to black people in any category other than this one. I lose respect for them because they don't push their cause 100%. Just like James Hanna said, when Eddie Long was found guilty of or was accused of sleeping with these boys, and he couldn't say, no, hell, I didn't. The gay people should have asked for his head on a fucking stick. This dude was just saying that you're an abomination, and he's doing what you're doing. You lose points for me when you don't speak up for your own. The fact that Florida is not cut off as a being from this country by blacks economically and geographically as a whole points to us.
You're talking about because of Trayvon.
Because of Trayvon. Black people ain't shit. Black people as a whole ain't shit, and that's why we get fucked around.
Damn, Jeff.
Yes,
That's pretty tough.
as a whole, black people, African Americans. I like Negroes.
I disagree.
Of course you do.
I'm going to bring in somebody right now who has an experience. Okay? She's an artist. She's an author. She's a performance person. She does poetry.
And I love her dreads.
She's one of the coolest people I've ever met. But she has a very unique story. She doesn't necessarily agree with same-sex parenting. Her name is Elle. I'm going to bring her in right now. Elle, take my microphone. Tell these motherfuckers what's happening.
You know, it's not that I don't disagree with same-sex parenting. I think that the perspective of same-sex parenting, it leans too much on the issue of the sexuality of the parents. Because quite honestly, everyone was brought here through heterosexual relationships.
Even the gay folk, right?
Even the people that claim their labels, because we're talking about labels. What we're pondering is really the label we've chosen, or that has been placed upon us. In the case of your statement about blackness, I think black men are more hated than anybody on the planet.
Absolutely. Wow.
And that's the thing that you have to take and put in another box, and it's just like with civil rights. Civil rights has its place, but I don't think it's shared by being gay. So the issue, but what we're discussing is parenting, and the parents are almost always, the straight parents are almost rarely scrutinized as being, well, what quality of parenting is being departed on these children. But if you see two men or two women, you think, that's what? I think initially it might be love that is why these children are living in these households.
But tell them your story, your 17-year relationship with a gay man while you were a gay woman.
We're actively gay. I had a relationship with a gay man, and he was actively gay, and a socially popular gay man. But the thing that was really interesting was that nature took over, and we were in love, even though we moved in as roommates to be two gay people sharing an apartment, and then found that we were madly in love with each other. Over the years, it became greater and more intense and more apparent that we were having a relationship. It was very little to do with whether or not our labels worked, as nature worked on us.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, wow. I hear what she's saying is the sense of that she put in 10,000 hours with this human being. She spent time with this human being. Yeah, that's what she did. And what happens is your labels get put away. Even if your children, your labels get put away, they become human beings when you deal with someone every day.
It's like prison.
No, it's not like prison. You can look at it in the negative sense.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying it's negative. I'm saying you spend 10,000 hours in a cell with a dude.
What she speaks to, I think, what I'm hearing is relatedness. Connecting with a person is maybe sexually gender blind, color blind. It's like whether you believe this or not. I think I'm somewhat color blind, generation blind, gender blind, because when I focused on suicidal people for many years, I would look into their eyes and and their eyes would say, please don't hurt me anymore. And so I would just try and find out where they were behind their eyes. And there were some people that I saw for years, and I guess I hadn't taken a history. I took something, but I didn't know they were gay. There were some people I saw for years, I didn't know they were black.
Wow.
Because when someone's that desperate and they're looking at you and say, unless you get me something to hold on to, I'm leaving this earth, that's all I focused on. So maybe there's something about relatedness, being blind, all that stuff.
Wow, we got one more break to take, man. This is getting heavy, man. We don't know it all. Everybody here is flawed and fucked up and disheveled and broken down in many different ways that you can't tell. But the purpose of this show is to create the platform of dialogue so we can continue to talk and engage. Call us, 855-878-4652. I'm coming back with Joseph. When we come back, we're going to take your call, Joseph.
I'm selling all my equipment. I can't make beats like this.
My homeboy James is cold, though.
Broadway, shout out. Killer, call me. You got my number.
He will not.
He don't call nobody, man.
No, he's a hell of a producer. Always been around many, many years. Produced a lot of people, Exhibit, King T, Alcoholics. I mean, he's been around for a long time. Done a lot of stuff. Shout out to James Broadway. So What Mornings back in the building. Riveting topic. Same-sex parenting. Is it the answer to fatherlessness in America? Not only America, but definitely African-American communities. I don't think same-sex parents can actually effectively parent without a village, but I also believe heterosexual parents can effectively parent without a village. And
it just takes a village to raise a child. Then.
Period. And what I'm starting to see is whatever the village's social game rules are makes or breaks the kid. If unforgiveness is the social game rule of this village, they're raising damaged goods. If selfishness, greed, the inability to be aware, because you talk a lot about heartfelt communication and heartfelt connectivity and relating. Listen, I believe all forms, whether it's from masculine energy or feminine energy, all forms of love is conditional unless you've met yourself at the core. Most people are not meeting themselves. What they're doing is building families and infrastructures of ideas around them so they can hide from themselves. They don't understand that infrastructure you build is only giving that thing you're hiding from an opportunity to come out and show itself. And I think therein lies the difficulty. We're not even getting close to love. So to say same-sex marriage or heterosexual marriage and raising families is all about love and nurturing, I think it's about selfishness. And we see that in mothers and fathers and parenting, living vicariously through their kids, trying to guide their kids away from their flaws. I think that's one of the worst things you can do. I think you should expose your flaws to your kids so they can understand who you are at the core and not this pretentious bullshit we want to prepare and present to them. I just don't think that works. Louis Dix?
I think it's a time and place to
get at me, Lou. Tell me this.
No, it's a time and place to showcase certain flaws. Yeah. They're going to come out. Yeah. But if you're committed to that family, in that structure, it'll come out. No matter if you love that family, the hard work, the easy work, it's the disciplines,
the bullshit,
all that's going to shape you. Also, it's about structure. Yeah. You'll become out a better person too as you see your family grow.
Alan,
so I want to share with you what my mentor, Dr. Kempler, said about a healthy family. He says a healthy family is a family that is shaped by who each of us is, right? Mm-hmm. Rather than according to some ideal or some idea of who we're supposed to be. And it was that's resonating with what you're saying, Zoe. Because we don't talk about how do we help people find themselves and grow into who they are. We have all these ideas, right? We put all
this is who you're supposed to be. This is what I learned. These are my mistakes.
You got it. And so now instead of helping that child find their way, their path, right? Look, you don't have to tell an acorn to grow into an oak tree. What does the acorn need? It needs some water, it needs some sunlight, it needs some nutrients, those kinds of things. You can't give it instructions. You start telling an acorn what to do. It's not, it can't respond to that stuff. But we're very similar to that in so many ways. We just need to be met. And the challenge, though, is we don't know what that really looks like.
Wow.
You know, I love this book by James Hume. He says, we've had 100 years of psychotherapy, and the world keeps getting worse. It's not getting better.
Jeff Brown?
Not just to play the devil's advocate. I kind of feel this position I'm about to give out, which is when it comes.
You told us last week that your love is conditional. Go ahead.
Yes, that's hilarious. As a parent, the great bolus of my flaws are not important, or my mistakes are not important here. What is important is that some mistakes are just mistakes, not mine. Not dropping out of school early is a mistake. Not completing shit you're supposed to complete is a mistake. Disrespecting authority is a mistake. Slovenliness, mistakes. So
slovenliness.
Yes, God bless His order. You want God to bless you? Clean your fucking house.
Sloven?
Yes,
Sloven.
clean up and watch what happens. God will bless you just for that.
But look, instead of talking about not making the mistakes, how about if we talk about learning from your mistakes?
Oh, absolutely. No.
See, what
That's
if we
what
go
they're
to
That's not
that
what I'm
side?
saying. That's not what I'm saying.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
That's
You're
what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying, you're not going to learn in my house. You're not going to learn from the mistake of fucking your homework over 9 weeks that you get an F. That's not what you're going to learn. What you're going to learn is that it's hard. You have to work hard to get an F in my house. You have to not study for extended periods of time. I have to ignore your habits for an extended period of time, and neither of those will happen. If all you can give at 110% is a C, then damn it, I'm happy with that
There it
C.
is.
I'm
But
with that.
every
Listen.
asshole that stay pointed toward the ground in my house is gonna work hard.
And if that's
That
balanced
stays
with
pointed
trying,
toward the ground.
If your asshole point toward the ground, you're gonna work hard.
Look, if that's balanced though, with trying to find out what happened here.
Absolutely.
How come you didn't, do your homework for the next 9 weeks? Can we find out what's going on and what what's happening in
but a
your
lot
life
of
that you
it's-
don't want to?
Jeff Brown.
Because kids want to do that.
Jeff Brown.
A lot of it's not a mystery, Doc. A lot of this shit, guys like you, and then no diss, but it keeps you in business to make shit complicated. A lot of shit is simple.
Making stuff
a lot of
complicated.
shit.
How can I charge $200 an hour if it's not
You can. That's right. If it's simple,
my God,
that's
right?
like a lawyer. We're
Right?
gonna take it out of English, put it into Latin, and then transfer it back to you so we can get the pimp game on.
You have
a lot
Lord
of shit.
Farquhar's disease.
Exactly.
What?
A lot of shit
But
is
the other
very
danger,
simple.
the other danger is to make it too simple.
Is to make it too
That's
simple?
also
And
a
that's
danger.
where the
Come
woman
on.
comes in.
So-
And that's where the woman comes in. My crime is making shit too simple. My woman's crime is making shit too complicated. Somewhere in the middle is the real road, and that's why I have her, and that's what brings us back to dough with male and female
And
energy.
did you tell her how much you appreciated her
Dude,
this morning
every
for her?
goddamn day.
Good.
I am the
That's
luckiest
it.
son of a
Look
bitch.
at
I have
it.
no
Is she
fucking
watching
idea what
this
she's
now?
doing.
So listen,
Record it,
guys.
baby. She watched this.
So guys, we have a caller on the line. Joseph.
Or Jerome. Anyone.
Somebody with vocal cords. Push air through them.
Push air through him.
Say something. Shit.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye. L, you're the resident inactive gay person. She was telling me like I'm
she
not
on the bench?
actively gay.
She on the bench?
She was telling me like there's active and then there's inactive. I'm like, this is a complicated movement.
Right, man.
So
Does she come in the game and pointed? Yeah, I'm coming in.
Right, turn the light switch on.
Rip my warm-ups off. Run down the peanuts.
Right.
Yeah, explain that.
So
Please.
talk to us about. Because everybody's interested and intrigued and fear. You know fear makes people turn into mobs real quick. Like, hey,
Oh, yeah.
this is some bullshit. That's a
Heresy!
right. Heresy. So my question to you is, as an inactive gay person, how do you see same-sex parenting? Do you see it as a viable solution? Do you think we should, like they used to say back in the day, we should give the nigger the vote? We don't want to give him the vote because if we give him the vote, then he has power. Do you think we should give the LGBT community a license to marry? Do you think we should just put it in the law and open it up to them? What do you think?
Okay. There's so many questions to answer. I'll try to answer them in this lifetime. The first part of the question. I am a celibate human right now, and have been for some time.
God bless you.
I say all this to say that sexuality and labels for me went away with the relationship that I described when I came on the show. Secondarily, the issue of marriage and same-sex marriages. It was announced yesterday that they would get the same recognition federally in this country from here on in. So that means that all of the flaws and all of the great things that were pursued as being married, period. Taxes, the write-off, the write-on, and that you will now have to get divorced to separate. Yeah. But the ironies also will continue. But I think that the rights are necessary because that foundates the process of parenting.
I'm laughing because, they just, a same-sex couple just sued this guy for back child support because they got a divorce. The guy donated his sperm, and now the couple got a divorce, and now he has to pay back child support. So welcome to the club.
What would same-sex divorces look like to the kids?
I can't believe that you did that to me.
A divorce is like
nasty.
The Titanic, right? Especially to the kids. It's like, what the hell? This whole identity is broken apart. What happens in a same-sex situation, Goulston?
No, you bring up a point that I've just been thinking about for the last 30 minutes.
You just been thinking for 30 minutes?
Well, it's tough to get a word in edgewise somewhere.
You're going to have to get a little bit more aggressive.
You're damn right, white man. Base it up.
I have the feminine energy here, so shut up. I'm talking like your wives. There you go.
Put your chest in it.
That would be breast for Dr. Goulston, the feminine energy. Go ahead, Doc.
Wow. I want to ask each of you to remember when you were teenagers.
Don't make me do that.
No, what I've heard from some teenagers, and tell me if this is wrong, is what was really discouraging to them about their parents, whoever they were, is that they had conflicts that never got resolved. It wasn't the fact they had conflicts, but they fought over the same thing, and it never got fixed, and that's what was discouraged. So I think it's great to have conflict. It's great to express your opinions, but when you're a teenager watching mom and dad fight over the same thing and never solve it, it's kind of disheartening. So I think that plays across heterosexual marriages, gay marriages. So let me ask you: did any of you ever watch parents just never solve the most important things? And did any of that get to you? Because I think what you learn is, well, if they never solve anything, who wins most of the time? And I'm going to be like them because I'm not going to be like the one who loses.
Well, sometimes it becomes how they behave becomes your answer for that situation.
Yeah, the thing that we've learned when we were being raised back east in Philly was that your parents, they were adults and they were children. And what I'm feeling now is that young people are taking on so much adult pains and like you were saying.
Wow.
I didn't look at my parents. I had a great childhood. My dad I had times that weren't good, but I keep seeing you focus on what was negative didn't get resolved. And I think that's what's so wrong with America. Everything is so negative. And then we as people that are positive got to get them out of that. Like you just put all this stuff up. I don't want my kid thinking about what he didn't resolve. Think about your behind being successful at Morehouse, enjoying your middle school, smiling. Because when I look at all my kids' pictures, they're smiling. Yeah, they're going to go through pain.
But I think what the doctor is saying,
but I'm just saying it's too much.
He's making a great point. I think what the doctor is saying, though, when you have this unresolved stuff, you're carrying it with you.
Yes.
I'm going to say something I'll never say.
And think about the other stuff that was resolved.
I agree with
He's got all his stuff on his shoulder that wasn't resolved.
How often does that happen?
How about the stuff on your shoulder that was resolved? I'm sure you got a bunch of it.
But see, you don't think about it.
You don't think about the negative.
No.
It's better to be painful.
I think also the painful stuff seeks to manifest itself through relationships. So you might not thinking about it now, but when you get in a relationship, the shit comes out.
Lewis is saying
you
can choose what you focus on. You can choose what you focus on. Yeah.
We'll be right back. Damn it, Lewis, you and the devil's advocate. We'll be back.
so funny?
Can I
Sound man.
Can I bring it back?
Okay, get up.
Welcome back to the Zoe Webb Morning Show. Jeff, now say what you want to say.
I'm looking at the sound man hearing these beats, and he kind of gets it. Okay. I kind of see what makes the natives unrest.
Wait, he's
restless
a
with
young 20-something Caucasian. He gets it. That's theirs now. Hip hop is theirs.
them. Yeah.
They done stole it, took it. Eminem ran off and went to Iceland. Anyway, back in the building, Zoe What Morning Show. Same-sex parenting. Listen, this show is not about coming to a final answer for you to walk away with and say, oh, okay, they gave it to me. No. This show is about airing out the differences and seeing the different angles. You know, life is like a diamond, multifaceted. And if you're looking at it from one perspective, you don't capture the full brilliance of life. You have to pull back and see how the light reflects in all of the facets in order to understand how beautiful life is. Just like a diamond, right? And just like a diamond, you know, play on words, your mind has to die to all of these ideas you think, you know, represent some kind of ultimate truth. We're having this discussion so we can keep the floor open so people say, I saw this show, it made me think some things, and now I went and got a book, I started researching. Doc, you have some type of seminar. What seminar is going on that you're doing? What is it, Wednesday?
Yeah, no, this Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. I'm doing a free webinar on follow-through, why people don't and how you can. Just look up webinar follow-through Goulston, Goulston. Webinar follow-through Goulston, and 10 a.m. to 11. And join us.
So I'm going to go around the table. And now's the moment of truth. Truth right here. Same-sex parenting. Yay or nay, good or bad, why not? Lewis, I'm going to start with you because you're in the middle of writing your notes. No, I'm just kidding. Alan Berger, please, talk to me. Why not? Good, bad, yes, no, right, wrong, indifferent? Talk to me.
Well, it's my belief that that every relationship is going to divide itself into that masculine and feminine energy. They just do that. So for me, it's not an issue of gay this or gay that or putting any labels on anybody. It's about people getting together and relating to each other and how they do that. And how they do that when now that relationship is enlarged and includes a child.
Wow.
So that's what I'm looking at, because a child doesn't make a family, it extends it.
Ooh.
The first child that a couple has is their relationship, and it's how they deal with that that's going to determine the kind of atmosphere that child is going to grow in, what kind of a climate that child's going to grow in. So that's what I'm for, is helping people pay attention to that.
Got it. Bobby Glanton.
It's not I wish I could say a definitive answer I'm about to give you. I'm always in a wait and see mode simply because this is new. This is new to my knowledge from a historical standpoint. And we just got to see how it plays out. I would hope that there would be some inclusion of men in that equation and a balance, because I think it's important that a child understands the dynamic between the relationship between a man and a woman, and if he chooses to follow that particular path, he has models of possibility within his reach.
Wow. Good stuff. Good stuff. Elle?
I think that there is no one answer. I think that the quality of the individuals will dictate as to whether or not the parenting experience will be good for the child. And almost always it's love that brings this cluster together, because oftentimes the children are from other relationships or they were adopted, but almost rarely adopted. They're almost always people have children and they bring them home. From the straight relationship, and then now they're living this other experience. Their children are still their children. They're not going to dismiss them.
Good point. Good point. Dr. No, I already went to Dr. Goulston, didn't I? No. I didn't go to you? Jeff I know. I'm saving you, Jeff. Okay. So have some shit to say when I come to you, okay? Dr. Goulston.
I'm in favor of it. And the reason I'm in favor is because I think there's a greater possibility to be thoughtful and not take it for granted. I think sometimes when you're thoughtless and take things for granted, which a lot of heterosexual couples do, they just think it's natural, that's where you run into issues. I'm not saying it always happens, but I think with gay couples, they because they're dealing with a kind of a difficult society, they have the opportunity sometimes to be more thoughtful and make better choices.
Wow. Louis Dix.
I think we need to reflect on the injustices that were done to all people. And when we decide who's different, who deserves and who doesn't deserve, because we're all going through that same journey. So you really just need to take the time and put 10,000 hours plus into someone if you care for them. Wow. If you don't care for them, keep moving.
Jeff Brown.
I told you I only agree with Louis Dix once a session. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're not all going through the same shit. Pretty please with sugar on top. Stop plopping my people's unique, ongoing struggles with any fucking body else's. I'm with Uncle Bobby. The jury is out on gay marriage and raising children because heterosexual people have fucked it up so bad.
Right.
I think we're in a wait and see pattern, and just like you said, bring some dudes around because you run the same risk. A heterosexual
and the dudes you bring around, don't hit on them.
Exactly. Yeah. Nice chest. We gonna bring Marvin around. His chest be out. No. I'm saying, okay, just like a straight couple can put straight pressure on a gay child, I think a gay couple subliminally could put pressure on a straight child. Let that child be able to make his choices on his own.
Right. We don't want to hear no grunting and howling in the next room.
Oh, my God. Why does love smell like ass? I've always wondered that. I've always wondered.
Wow.
You know what, man? You just stupid, Jeff. This
is what I'm going to say to end mine. All right? 63% of youth suicides are from fatherless homes. U.S. Department of Health and Census. 90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes, right? 85% of all children who show behavior disorders come from fatherless homes. Listen, at the end of the day, if you can have a father, whether he's gay or not, I think just having the male presence there does something. But at the same time, I don't believe that we could say, let's put a kid in any situation because any situation is better than no situation. Do you understand? I just feel like it has to be smarter. It can't just be because we deserve it. It has to be smarter, and it's really got to be about the kids and not. Is it more about the kids or your desire to have a family? To me, that's a bigger question. This is the So What Show. This is what we do every week. We ignorant, but we smart with it. We smart with the ignorance. We'll see you next week with another flaming. No, won't be no more gay topics. Another hot topic. We'll be back next week. So What Morning. We out.